What's up, PH Nation? This is Luke.
And this is Anthony.
And you're watching
Coffee with the Boys. Can you see our Chick-fil-A-ness?
Shout out to Jake Driggers from Chick-fil-A. We love him.
I apologize, it's early. We haven't had breakfast yet.
I'll never apologize for breakfast. Should we go ahead and do the cup thing?
Yeah, let's go for it. But we probably need to put our Chick-fil-A down.
No.
We take one big bite.
No, you should do it.
Then we'll get a big bite.
Big bite. Well, for me, wait. Oh, let's go.
You can make it fit. Go.
Right now?
Right now. Right now. Go. God. You got it. I believe in you.
I'm glad
Anthony, we've been talking about this a lot lately, not just at Powerhouse, but just in our own personal lives as we connect with students about being somebody that sets the culture in a godly way at their school, right? And we think that's super relevant. We personally can't be in schools because of COVID, and it's an important time, and it's a really cool time to watch students step up right now. And so our heart behind this is we want to equip you with different tools. And so our first thing that we're just talking about today is, what does it look like to set a godly culture in your school? And the thing that I think we would both agree on is the first thing is having a godly life, living in a godly way, and because we can't do it without Him. We can't do it without God. That begins with personal relationship with Him. If we don't know His heart, then we can't talk about what He wants us to talk about. We can't live the way He wants us to live because we don't know who He is ourselves. So what do you think about that?
Yeah, I think, I don't know, I feel like if you're trying to live and represent Jesus and bring people to church and talk about Him and stuff like that, but you're not doing it out of like an overflow of, hey, I'm spending time with Jesus, so I'm pumped about it. Mm-hmm. Or I'm spending time with Jesus, so I want to be dedicated. Mm-hmm. Like, if you're not doing it out of the overflow of your time with Jesus, it's going to exhaust you. Mm-hmm. It's going to wear you out. So it is so important that as we're trying to impact the students at the schools, as we're trying to reach out to our friends, and we need to be trying to do that. Mm-hmm. That's what we're called to do. Mm-hmm. Just as we need to be trying to do that with people at work, mm-hmm. reaching people at work, mm-hmm. y'all need to be doing that to the schools. That's your ministry. That's your mission field. Mm-hmm. And so that has to come out of time with God on our own. And it's not even saying like your time with God has to be super pumped.
Yeah.
Just that you need to be dedicated and showing God like you're in this relationship.
Can I add something before I pass it back? Even with one of the things like the purpose of why we do this, and like you were talking about being burnt out or talking about this, that, the other. One of the things, if we're not spending time with the Lord, we forget our purpose. Yeah. You know, like God gives us purpose, and that's such a cool thing about our God. Like He is a living God that gives us purpose, and that purpose is to worship Him. But if we're not spending time with Him, we're trying to start up a Bible study, well then eventually we're not just going to get burnt out. We're not going to see the value in it, you know? And so it'll cause us to slow down or to stop. And that's of course not something that we need to do. But Anthony, what else you got?
Yeah, I just think that's so important that you're spending time with God on your own, because even if you're not, like it's not even going to be enjoyable. Mm-hmm. Like I've never seen people so excited. I'll even throw Clayton Boyd out there as an example. Like dude's so excited whenever he's passionately pursuing Jesus, and he's reaching other people because he's excited about God, or because he's even devoted to God. And so I feel like that's so key. But also there's a lot of students who don't step out, who don't make those efforts, who don't start groups at their schools, who don't reach out to people because they don't feel like they're someone who is qualified to do it. And so when I say that, like that may hit home for some people. Like everybody at your school, if you've been going there a while, they've seen your junk. They've seen your garbage. They've seen when you have not acted in a way that someone who loves Jesus should act. But they've also seen, even if like you're more quiet, reserved, off of yourself, they've seen you not be active. They've seen you not care, but you just kind of sit back and let people go. So it'd be so weird if you just stepped out now. But I feel like it's so important to know that it doesn't, like what's happened in the past, and even what happened today, doesn't matter. Like it's so important not what you did, but what you're about to do. I was looking it up and I just think it's so cool. Peter, 50 days before he led thousands to Jesus, like thousands of people knew Jesus and were going to be in heaven. from one sermon, one speech or whatever that he gave. 50 days before that, he betrayed Jesus. Jesus was being taken, he was about to be killed. And Peter said, I don't know who he is. He distanced himself, he ran away. In Jesus' greatest time of need, Peter was gone. He was a terrible friend, he betrayed Jesus, and he ran away, and he, I guess, even like, he said, that's not who I am, I'm not someone who loves Jesus at all. And that's so weird to think about that, like, just barely after that, he's leading thousands to him, because when Jesus came back and found him, he said, what happened then doesn't matter anymore. I've forgiven you. And so I'd say live like Peter did, and like so many other people you can use as an example, but live like Peter did, where you say, hey, what I was doing doesn't matter. Here on out, tomorrow, today, this is what matters from here on out.
Yeah. And I mean, if you're feeling unqualified, then I just want to say that you're in good company, because there are so many people in the Bible that are unqualified. Every single one of them, aside from Jesus, you know? The first person that I can think of is Moses, where he made all those excuses, you know? But the cool thing about God, and you see this time and time again, is you don't have to be qualified to be obedient. If you're obedient, God qualifies you, you know? And so, like, you see it with Gideon, you see it with Moses, you see it with all types of people in the Bible, you see it with Peter. Like, whenever they stepped out into obedience, God took care of the rest. He made you qualified. He gave you the tools that were necessary in that season, you know? And that's the cool thing about our God, is like, you don't have to worry about being unqualified. You just have to worry about being obedient, because that's really, at the end of the day, what God is looking for, you know? And another thing that I want to talk about, because it's easy to just start up a Bible study and that be your thing, you know, and that be your only thing. But also, we want to not just encourage starting up Bible studies and prayer groups, which are great things, and they can be things that set a culture in your school, but being a leader worth following, you know?
Yeah.
A lot of times, like, I remember even in high school, there were guys that would show up to our Bible studies, but they weren't leaders, because not just the way that they acted, but the only time they actually gave a crap was in Bible study. They didn't give an effort in anything else. And so I think it's cool how Jesus set the tone for how we're supposed to live by the way that he led. He was excellent in everything he did. He was perfect in everything he did. We're supposed to strive for excellence in everything that we do. Paul, whenever he was doing ministry, he was the best tent maker he possibly could be. And it's the same thing, whatever our hand is to, whether it be school and academics, whether it be sports, we need to give our best effort. And in that, people are like, hey, this is somebody worth following because of the way they're leading. They're not just leading in their extracurriculars, but it's also because they have something else, and that's because of our walk with God. We're leading in a way that's pleasing and honoring to God in everything we do, not just in one area.
Yeah, and so, yeah, it's super cool. Like, you want to follow a leader who's worth following. Like, I think we all just kind of want to be that leader half the time, and that's good. You want to be that leader, just strive for it. But I think it's somebody like Travis or Cole. Like, they're leaders I want to be like, and I look at them, I'm like, they're models for who I want to become. And it's because that they're not just the people who come and chill. And like, even Cole, he doesn't come and hang out with youth students during the week and then go off and act crazy. Like, he's someone who's consistent in the way he lives his life. He's disciplined in the way he lives his life. And so, it's cool, like, if you step up and you're the person people want to be like, if you do everything well, if you do it with excellence, if you do it for God, people are naturally going to want to see that and notice what you did and kind of go for it.
Yeah. People want to follow successful people. People don't want to follow losers. And I'm not calling you a loser. Maybe that's just something that's resonating.
He is calling you a loser.
No.
You're a loser.
I am encouraging you, though, like, if you don't feel like you're being excellent in everything, to do your best to do so, because that's whenever people start to take notice. They notice the people that are doing well. Like, teams that are in last place, their targets are the teams that are in first place. The teams that are in first place don't have targets because they're at the top, you know? Their only competition is themselves. For us, our only competition when it comes to the way that we lead is ourselves, when it comes to just drawing closer to God. Like, how much time are you willing to put in, you know? And so I just want to encourage all of that. Be leaders that are worth following. And even if you're not good at something right now, or you don't have those disciplines, man, develop those disciplines, because that's whenever you start to really grow and you see things change.
Yeah, and so this is kind of how these episodes are going to look like a little bit. We're going to do some funnier ones, we're going to do serious ones like this, and so make sure you leave in the comment what you want us to talk about. what's something funny or even like a funny story or a topic or something controversial. So anyways, yeah, y'all just holler at us, let us know what you want us to talk about, serious or not. We will more than likely talk about it as long as your comment doesn't suck. So, anyways, y'all have a good one. See y'all next time.
Tell them that they suck.
Luke called y'all losers, so I think I'd rather suck than be a loser.
Well, you could be a sucky loser.
So for the next couple minutes, we're just gonna sit here and watch Luke eat. And I hope every bit of it makes the final cut.